What's up, guys? Skyreen here. I have been in the midst of a really weird existential crisis for the past few weeks. I have just been all over the fucking place. So if you're following my social media, if you're watching my videos, I'm sorry that I have just been so such a mess, because I really don't know what I'm doing with my life or anything like that. So I'm just been who knows what's going on with me. My content has just been so weird and just ping pong ball just everywhere. But my camera anyways, so I have been struggling to find a good camera position apparently. Okay, so I have been neck deep in the world of YouTube lately, which I think is really good, because it's giving me inspiration and it's giving me ideas, and it's helping me kind of shape who I am, who I want to be as a creator, and so it's really nice. But anyways, I have been watching so many of Shane Dawson's videos, particularly the conspiracy, the scary time videos, and so I decided I'm gonna make a Disney conspiracy video, and then maybe I'll get more than 10 views. Wow. But anyway, so I did a lot of research and I found a lot of dirt on Disney, so I'm ready to spill the tea. Little disclaimer, this video is not meant to harm anybody, it's not meant to attack anyone, none of these theories are mine. This is just research that I've done, theories that I found, and I just wanted to share them. So the first few are going to be about Disney movies. I wrote it all down. Doesn't my D look so pretty? I'm just obsessed with that. It's so nice. Anyways, my D looks pretty. I hate myself. So the first few are about movies, and then the last lot are about specific things at the parks. So the first one is that in the movie Beauty and the Beast, Belle is singing about Aladdin when she's reading her book, because Beauty and the Beast came out a few months or years or something. It came out before Aladdin, and she sings about far off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise. Aladdin, bitch. It's foreshadowing. Absolutely, the genie, the sword fights. Aladdin is the Prince Ali. It's Aladdin. It's Aladdin. Okay, next one. The movie Tangled came out in 2010. The movie Frozen came out in 2013. In the beginning scene of Frozen, right here, you will see Rapunzel and Eugene, or whatever her husband's name is, walking up as soon as Anna comes out the castle doors. Boom, there's Rapunzel. Look. So the theory is because the castle doors opened 3 years later after their parents died in the shipwreck. So the theory is that since that movie came out 3 years after Tangled, their parents were on their way to Rapunzel's wedding, and that's why she felt obligated to go to the little castle celebration thing. And the ship that wrecked sank down, and it's actually the ship in The Little Mermaid, but their parents didn't actually die in the shipwreck. They washed up on an island, they built a little shack, and then they had a baby boy and named him Tarzan, and then got eaten by a leopard. Okay, the last one is people were going crazy about it. I think it's yeah, cool, whatever. But it's the fact that in Toy Story, Andy's mom is Emily, who is the girl who originally had the Jessie doll and gave her away. So in Toy Story 2, if you don't know, Jessie is Woody's little cowgirl girlfriend thing, and she tells a story about how her owner gave her away. Well, her owner's name was Emily. Emily had this big red hat that she always liked to wear when she played with Jessie. She grew up in the 50s and the 60s, and now Andy has that same red hat. Andy's mom is that same age, so she would have grown up in that same time frame, and we never found Andy's mom's name. So it just makes sense that would be the same one, and it's just ironic that Jessie ended up in the same family. Kind of cute, kind of sad. Alright, now on to the creepy, real, cool theories. The parks. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the secret tunnels underneath the Disney parks, and oh my gosh, Disney's haunted. Let me tell you why. Okay, so first of of all, apparently, like, I never knew this, but apparently there are, like, a lot of people who will try to sneak ashes into the park. Like, ashes, like dead people in a jar, like their ashes, and sprinkle them on, like, their favorite rides. Mostly, like, the water rides, so, like, the Pirates ride, It's a Small World, like, those are the most, like, popular ones. And those are also, like, the most haunted ones. So there's another story. I didn't really do that much research on this. I just watched it in a video, so I don't exactly know if it's true or not, but I heard that there was a funeral for a 7-year-old boy once outside of the Haunted Mansion because that was, like, his favorite ride there. And he passed away, and I don't remember how, but, like, his funeral was in the park. And so now there's a story that in the Haunted Mansion, in the ballroom scene, you'll see his ghost dancing and laughing, and then once you get to the end of the ride, he'll just be, like, sitting there and you can hear him crying. So that's one little theory. Another theory is of the ghost named George. So this is probably one of the most popular theories, and honestly, I think it's one of the creepiest and, like, the coolest, and probably one of the most, like, convincing. So the story of George is that he was a construction worker, and while they were working on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, do you say Caribbean? Caribbean? I say Caribbean. I don't know. Anyways, so when he was working on that ride, a beam fell down and crushed him, and it killed him. So now they say that George is still there, like, haunting the ride, and that every morning the workers have to say, like, good morning, George, and every night they have to say, good night, George, otherwise he'll start messing with the rides and things won't work. There was a theory that there was, like, some weird calls in the control room, and there's a theory that, like, when you go through the ride, there's this little part where there's, like, a gate thing, like someone's in jail, and, like, there's a little dog outside of the gate, and so there's a theory that, like, the dog will move and the gate will just open on its own, and, like, that's George messing with it. So everybody just kind of, it's become tradition now for them to, like, say hi to George. So there's that one. There's another one that Walt Disney had an apartment at Disney World, and there's a little light in the window of his apartment that just, like, stays on all the time just to represent, like, his presence in the park. So he's always there, like, looking out over his park. One time a maid turned the light off, and she heard, like, she saw that it turned itself back on. And there have been people who have rumored to have heard knocking and footsteps in Walt's apartment, and who have, like, been on Main Street and, like, seen the curtains moving and just, like, felt someone watching. So they think that Walt's ghost is still there. So another one is that on the ride It's a Small World, which is, like, the creepiest ride ever. By the way, I hate that ride. Like, I will not go on it when I go to Disney. I hate that thing. It's so creepy. It's all these little, like, porcelain or, like, animatronic, like, dolls, and they're just like, it's a small world after all, and they just, like, sing it over and over in, like, all these different languages, and you're on this little boat, and it's like a death trap, I swear. I hate that ride. But anyways, so there's a theory that, like, those dolls, like, come to life and, like, move positions on their own and are, ew, like, it's just scary. And, like, they're really creepy, so, like, if you see them, like, it's pretty convincing. Like, look. Pretty gross, right? I know. So there's also another theory about that ride, that in 1999, the ride just, like, mysteriously shut down, like, all the lights went out, it was an emergency, the workers came in and they pulled everybody off the boats, like, nobody knew what was going on, they went out and there was, like, ambulances and police everywhere, and, like, just no one knew what was happening. And this lady had a camera, and it had, like, a little bit of film left in it, so she just kind of started, like, rapid firing, like, taking random shots just to use up the film. Then a few weeks later, she gets the film developed and found this picture. So nobody knows if that's, like, a real boy or if it's, like, one of the dolls, but either way, fucking creepy. It's just, like, hanging there from the rafter. Like, you can pause the video and, like, really, really look and, like, zoom and look. It's kind of hard to tell what it is, but it's definitely, like, a little boy, and I hope to God it's just, like, an animatronic, but as far as I know, they never really released, like, a full story on that, so that's creepy. Okay, next one. In the Tower of Terrors, I think that's the one in, like, Disneyland, like, in California. A cast member was working there on platform D, like, just, you know, doing his thing, like, loading people on, and he had a heart attack, and he ended up dying. And so they say that like he stays there and he haunts that platform and he's just always there. So that's kind of creepy. Another one is that in the haunted mansion, which, I mean, come on, they're really just like setting themselves up for failure there. Like they're calling it haunted. It's probably gonna be haunted. But anyways, there's like a part where you go through this like ballroom and it just takes you through all these different rooms, and there's like ghosts like dancing and laughing, and there's one part where there's like a little seance book that just like sits open on a table. And apparently the original book that they used was a real old witchcraft book, and it would never stay still. So they eventually had to replace it because this original book would just like turn the pages and it would open and it would fall off the table and it would just like move around on its own. Super creepy. I don't know why you would have like real witchcraft stuff in there to begin with, but do you think, Disney? I don't know. And the last one that I have is a story about a man. He was riding the Matterhorn, and it's like this big mountain like roller coaster thing, and he stood up on the ride and he hit his head, and nothing really happened like there in the moment. He just like hit his head, but then eventually, like a few days or weeks later, he ended up dying. Like he suffered like brain trauma from hitting his head and he ended up dying. And so now they say that like he haunts that ride. So yeah, and there's like whole other theories and stories about two different places called Discovery Island and called River Country. I am so obsessed with these stories. It would just be way too long of a video to try and like talk about that there, and plus I feel like it's just a separate thing because it's not necessarily a conspiracy, it's just a story. So go ahead and like leave me a comment if you want to like hear my side of the River Country Discovery Island situation, story, whatever you want to call it. If you liked the idea, if you liked hearing these if you liked these conspiracies, there we go, words, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it, comment, let me know if you want to see more videos like this. Again, like I could make a whole video about like River Country and stuff because I'm super into that. I could make like just random other conspiracy videos. I'm really not trying to like steal Shane's brand. I'm just so interested in this stuff, and I feel like you guys are too. So I have a lot of good ideas for new content, new videos, but leave a comment, let me know what you guys want to see. I hope you liked it. Thumbs up, subscribe, blah blah blah. Mwah. Thank you.